Hey everyone, I'm Mariana, and we are now well into December, which means it is definitely time for me to take a look at the past 3 months of reading and tell you what were my favorite books that I read this fall so I can fully embrace the end of the year. As you can imagine, a lot of my reading this fall revolved around mysteries and thrillers, which is kind of what you would expect. However, I was also reading a lot of recent releases this fall, which is pretty unusual for me, and so, in an unexpected turn of events, 4 out of 5 books on this list actually came out in 2019. Let me tell you all about them. Starting this list at number 5 is Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. I know I'm about 5 years late saying this, but this is a great book. The story is set in the 1970s in a small town and is about a Chinese-American family whose daughter Lydia is found dead in a lake. What follows is an in-depth look at the family's present and past, including what happened to Lydia and why. This is essentially a family drama with a bit of a mystery to it, and I did not expect it to affect me as much as it did. This is the kind of book that makes you want to call your family and friends and ask them how they're doing, and not in a generic, hey, how are you way, but actually ask the question, how are you? What is on your mind? What has been going on? It's a book that explores not only the characters themselves, but also how they see other characters, the assumptions they make, the things they miss. It's a cautionary tale about the importance of talking to each other and listening to each other. A lot of this book is about honesty and understanding. Celeste Ng approaches family dynamics head on, but also brings in those broader social issues, adding even more complexity to this already powerful and emotional story. But the most important lesson here is that we have to accept that others, especially family, are not here to meet our expectations, and children are not here to fulfill our goals and dreams. At number 4, I have The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell, which is another family drama with a touch of mystery, which has clearly been my genre lately because there is another book on this list that would fit that description. But we'll talk about that later. The book is generally about a 25-year-old woman named Libby who unexpectedly inherits a mansion, which sends her down a rabbit hole of discovering who her birth parents are and what exactly happened at the mansion years ago. If you are looking for a mystery that is based around family secrets, you absolutely have to give this novel a try. I found it to be fascinating and a very addicting read. I could not put this down. There are multiple perspectives involved in this twisted family drama, multiple timelines, and all of them eventually come together to bring the pieces of the puzzle together. It is so interesting to read. The thing about good family-centered mysteries is that they have to hit this delicate balance of good character development to keep you invested emotionally and a layered story with enough mystery and twists to keep you interested, but not go overboard so they don't turn into a soapy melodrama. And The Family Upstairs nails this balance perfectly. Plus, the writing style is very engaging and definitely fits the overall mood of the novel. Also, I have to recommend the audiobook here in particular because there are multiple narrators involved that match the different perspectives. All of them are excellent narrators with wonderful British accents, so this is just a really good book to listen to. Coming in at number 3 is a book that you might remember from my spooky reading recommendations video, American Predator by Maureen Callahan. This is easily one of the best true crime books that I've read, not just in a long time, but ever. This one will take you through the investigation of Israel Keys, a serial killer most people have not heard of. What starts as a single case eventually turns into something much more elaborate and horrifying. The thing about true crime nonfiction that I struggle with is that it often feels very dry. Maureen Callahan's writing, though, avoids that completely while still providing a lot of detailed information. Her writing style truly flows like a well-researched story, but never feels like just a collection of facts or just a chain of events. I also have to give credit to the structure itself. Instead of a more traditional linear timeline, Callahan starts with what got Keyes arrested and slowly reveals the monster behind the scenes, leaving the reader with a constant feeling of how much worse could this possibly get? And unfortunately, it does get a lot worse. Once things really got going here, I did not want to put this book down. So if you're looking for a true crime nonfiction book to get completely consumed by and that will send you down a rabbit hole of research afterwards, I cannot recommend American Predator enough. For number 2, I am going with another book that you might remember from that spooky recommendations video, The Whisper Man by Alex North, which is currently my favorite mystery crime thriller of this year. The Whisper Man revolves around a father and his son who move into a new house in search of a fresh start. However, the town they move to has a dark past, a serial killer who lured his victims out of their houses by whispering at their windows at night. Even though the killer has been caught, as you may suspect, the boy starts hearing someone whispering at his window. First of all, this is an excellent thriller that actually creeped me out over and over again throughout the entire novel. This is not something that happens to me easily. I don't get easily scared or creeped out by books, even when it's thrillers or horror. However, something about The Whisper Man just made me feel so uneasy. Aside from being a great thriller though, this novel devotes a lot of time to exploring father-son relationships, as well as dealing with loss and traumatic events. These themes definitely elevated the story for me and made me really care about the characters. Once again, there is a bit of that family drama angle here. However, The Whisper Man is definitely a crime thriller above all else. It is definitely creepy, a little bit sad, and impossible to put down, at least for me, and I would recommend this to any fan of the genre, but particularly to those of you who appreciate character development in their thrillers. And finally, the best book I read this fall is Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. I completely understand the comparisons it gets to Everything I Never Told You, which I talked about earlier in this video, but I would still say that this one is unlike anything I have ever read. The story unfolds as a courtroom drama and is about a hyperbaric chamber explosion that killed 2 people. This is a family business aimed at curing a variety of conditions, and the explosion clearly was not an accident. Miracle Creek is kind of a difficult book to describe because it combines a lot of elements within. It is a gripping courtroom drama that might as well be a mystery thriller because of how many ways this could go, and it really keeps you guessing throughout. It is also a complex exploration of family, parenthood, and community. It's a book that revolves around an immigrant family and the struggles they face as they try to build a new life. It's a book that concerns autism and the way parents try to treat it and how it affects them, not just their children. I'm honestly having a hard time pinpointing one specific main reason why this book is so amazing and why I loved it so much, because it is about it being so many things at once, and it's about the author revealing the story layer by layer. Every character has more to them that meets the eye, and it makes you struggle with things that you didn't consider before, which I love when a book makes you think like that. I love when a book presents something that you haven't considered before and you see a new point of view. I think that is what literature in general is supposed to do. So I, of course, highly recommend this, and I wish I could tell you more about it without spoiling it, but it's just something that you have to discover on your own. All right, guys, that is it for my top 5 books I read this fall video. I hope you enjoyed it. And my next video, of course, is going to be about my top 5 movies that I watched this fall, which I'm very excited to share with you. I've seen some amazing, amazing stuff during the past 3 months. Of course, I would love to know what you guys have been reading recently and what were the books that stood out to you the most this fall. And if you've read the books that I've talked about, please talk to me about them in the comments below. I would love to know your opinion. Thank you to all of my patrons. As always, you guys are amazing and I appreciate every single one of you. And of course, a special thank you to the patrons whose names are on the screen right now. And as always, thank you to everyone watching this video right now. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and check out my Patreon if you would like. You don't have to, but all of the information is in the info box below. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.